I'm about to talk about how stupid I am. So Scarlet and Violet are coming out in a number of hours for me. And remember how I literally said this in my video about hunting and Let's Go Eevee? If you have more than one console, or you know someone else with a Switch, well, it's pretty self-explanatory. Although if you plan on trading with yourself, let me just say this. Get a physical copy for the second game! 2 digital copies of games cannot be played simultaneously on 2 separate consoles while online. Even after I found workarounds and got both games running at once, they still did not trade with each other. Well, that applies to all Pokemon games on the Switch. Although I'd take it a step further and just say go physical no matter what on Pokemon games on the Switch. So I should follow my own advice, right? But Best Buy doesn't open until the morning. There's this thing called going to bed and waiting that I am simply not capable of right now. In fact, I've been kind of a mess this whole evening. I keep wanting to start doing something, and then I remember about the impending release of Scarlet and Violet. I then get excited about Scarlet and Violet and go to look things up about it, but then remember that I swore off all new info and spoilers about Scarlet and Violet weeks ago. I'll probably cave and buy digital right before midnight, and then get physical copies sometime in the future, probably when I actually want to trade between games. How financially responsible of me. This was the last time I did any research into the topic, and yes, there was going to be a follow-up, and there still will be, but I had to move it past the release date because I am desperately trying to avoid accidentally spoiling anything for myself. Honestly, it's exciting that these games are finally coming out, but at the same time, I'm a little sad. It's like in Master Quest when Ash comes full circle and can't sleep before the Johto League, and runs into Gary, who also can't sleep. Watching the episode, it hits you all at once, like, damn, these two have changed a lot since they first started. I remember when I got to this scene and realized that all good things eventually have to come to an end, and that this rivalry might be on its last legs. This plotline was nearing its conclusion, and soon it would be time to move on with life. Similarly, I'm getting those vibes right now. I would like to say that I've spent the last year anticipating Gen 9, but actually that's not true. When I covered the Pokemon Presents when the Paldea region was officially revealed by name, that's when I started getting excited. I may be a pretty huge fan of this franchise, but I do have trust issues with it at the same time. I think Legends Arceus might be the unsung hero in why so many of us are actually so positive this time around. That game felt like such a huge deal that I feel like calling it a side game would be an insult. I remember playing it for the first time and being like, yes, this is what Pokemon felt like as a kid. More of this, please. The game may have not met the fullest potential it could, but I could actually see a spark of life in there. This was not a sterile retread of the same formula, but something new with personality and passion buried beneath the less than impressive graphical fidelity. Well, let me just say that despite my enthusiasm, I'm not blind fanboying here. I'm not expecting perfect games, but I am expecting something more interesting and worth talking about than what we got in Gen 8. I don't know. I just got a lot more confident vibes from all the announcements and marketing this time around. And no matter what, I'm looking forward to finding out what these games are like, no matter how bad or hopefully good they might be. I'm going to be getting a lot of entertainment from them regardless, so either way, it's going to be a win for me. The countdown may be over, but the hype is just beginning. I didn't realize I had so many stories to tell until I started telling them, and it's been fun, so I'm going to continue to be here on a daily basis, at least until I finish the main game. I'd like to document my time with these games as coherently as I can, and I don't think just waiting until the end and doing one big review would be as interesting. It's time to see my opinions on Scarlet and Violet form in real time.